Hey everybody, welcome to another podcast, Kornercast podcast here on casterscorner.com. I'm your host Khalil, and with us this week is our friend Chris, and we talked for over an hour, and we realized when we shut off the mics that we still had a lot more to talk about. So I'm sure he'll be back and fairly soon, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a good conversation. It was just fun, friends just kicking back. I was frankly exhausted, and I almost canceled just because this week has been kind of exhausting. I'm hopefully going to have a podcast up for next week. Just everybody that listens knows that Jackson's been not feeling well, and so that is honestly taking up every waking minute and creating an immense lack of sleep. But hopefully we will get this figured out, and he'll be better. And really the only time I have is the 20 minutes or so I have to do a toy of the day. So, we will try to get a podcast up for next week. I'm honestly not sure. We might take a couple weeks off just so that I can really focus on him and getting him better or dealing with the fallout of him not. So, sorry to bring it down for a minute, but, yeah, so we talk literally about just about everything. It is just two friends catching up because we haven't seen each other in a couple months, actually. And so it was really just great to catch up with Chris. You can check out casterscorner.com for our toy of the day. One toy or multiple toys every day. A toy review, I guess I would say every day. We're in the 270s. We're getting close to that 365 mark. And my goal is to get there no matter what happens. So, you can check that out on our YouTube page, youtube.com/casterscorner. You can follow us. We are at Casters Corner on all social media. And subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate all the support. We've noticed the uptick, and we really hope that you enjoy the comment, but please leave feedback. We really appreciate all the feedback and all the thoughts and everything that can you tell I'm exhausted and just emotionally drained. We really appreciate all the comments and thoughts and that you share and create the little community that we've built. So thank you guys for all of that. So I guess without further ado, it is myself, it is Chris. We're talking all things collecting. Enjoy everybody.
We're good, man. You gotta come over. We're like a mile away.
I know.
My wife is like, she's like, why don't you guys do this in the sun porch? I'm like, I don't know. He's probably got like a computer and stuff like that. But
yeah, well, I mean, doing it this way, yeah, like it's a whole intricate kind of thing. I got a travel kit that's just easy to kind of pop together. And I agree. I think if it wasn't tonight and I wasn't like packing, I could come over and have a beer and just relax, I'd be like, 100%. But like, after we do this, I've got like 3 hours of work. So it's
oh boy. Yeah, no, I hear you. But we just got to put on the calendar. We just got to do it, man.
Yeah. Well, I really did think, I was like, okay, so the rain's just supposed to be overnight. And I was like, I'll just come over and like, yeah. And then I got tied up last night and I was just like, okay. Cause I got these to review. And
what is that?
Gundam.
Oh, that's a Gundam.
I don't know anything about it. So like I was ready to do the review last night and I was like, oh, I got to learn about Gundam before I do a review because otherwise it's going to sound really stupid. So
I don't know anything about Gundam. I know, a lot of them are model kits and stuff. But geez, that's totally out there for me.
But Toy Galaxy did a podcast, not a podcast, a YouTube video.
Yeah.
So I just threw it on audio in my car.
Yeah.
And driving to work today, just listen to the whole thing. He went through the whole history of Gundam in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was like nice little crash course.
I like his channel, and was it Toy Galaxy 2, TOO, right? That's the other one.
I haven't listened to the other one, but
yeah, it's he only uses that for like he does like his top 10, right?
Gotcha.
His top 10 of the figures of the year so far. He does like in the booth with Dan, in the photo booth with Dan.
Oh, cool.
He put those on there. But real quick before we get going, did you see I just tagged you in a post about Sentinel. Floppy knees. People,
Okay, I'm not. I think that's
okay.
a given.
Oh, okay. I wasn't
Depending on
sure.
the
I thought they were.
size.
I wasn't sure if they were supposed to have like a ratchet in there or anything
I
like
think
that.
they are, and I think it might be. I don't know. My 3 are on the way. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you got yours yet.
no, they haven't moved. They're in Georgia, and I don't know when they're gonna move. They've been
Interesting.
there for. I've had the tracking for about a week now, and they were supposed to show up either. Yes, I think they were supposed to show up yesterday, and they
Oh,
didn't
wow.
show. So now it's just pending. So when they show up, they show up. So
Yeah. Somebody posted today. I saw a picture. They had 21 in a room. Well, they were still in the boxes, but they had like 21 in their apartment, like against the wall,
oh
and
my
it
god,
was it was like 6 deep. So it was like, yeah, it was like,
like
you
almost
know,
3 or 4 rows.
yeah, it was a ton of these Sentinels, and somebody was just showing off. Somebody probably just maxed out a credit card. They're probably trying
That's
to sell them on the secondary market or
yeah.
something.
Well, I mean, they're going for like 1,000. So like,
Wow, are they really?
yeah, yeah, like 800 to 1,000, and like not even
Wow,
complete. Like I think I saw somebody sold a Bastion, just one of the little figures, the normal size figures, for like
right.
$200. So like,
Wow.
yeah, um, yeah, it's gonna be insane. Like I bought
Yeah.
3, and I know a friend of mine bought 2. I think he's only gonna open 1,
Mm,
and then a few of the other guys in our group have a few. And part of me is
mm.
like, hey, do you all want to get together one day and bring all our toys? I will photograph like a dozen Sentinels out in a park somewhere. Like
That would be
I'll even
awesome.
bring all my X-Men, and you guys pose them however you want. I won't touch yours, but
Wow.
like, cause yeah, no. But I think 3, like, I'm gonna clear this weekend, or when I get back from
Yep.
Boston. This whole
Yep.
thing's gonna get cleared.
Yep.
Slave One will stay, the Bugle will stay, but the
Yeah.
chessboards and the NECA background will go, and
Yep.
then I'm gonna play with it a little bit and set them up back there. Just
Nice.
standing there. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So,
It might even be cool next to the NECA background, as if it was
well,
like a city display.
so the problem is, yes, you're absolutely right, but the Daily Bugle, you can't tell,
Mm,
but it's a standard base plate, right?
mm.
And it's only halfway on that thing.
Oh, so that's gonna fall. That's a falling.
That's a 4,000 piece of anxiety right there.
Geez, how long did that take? That must have taken forever.
So we had a little bit of a competition because
Yeah.
DJ bought
Yeah.
little ninja, little ninja, it for graduation,
Hmm.
and then Jesse bought one for himself, and then I was like, well, they got it. I need to have it, and so DJ texted me that little ninja was doing it, and I said, okay, I'll start. So we all started at the same time, and it took me 2 days, like over 2 days, and I only beat his kid by like an hour. But I said, it's not. I said, I was kind of leisurely doing it. I was watching Spider-Man the animated series, and I was doing
Yeah.
it and watching
Yeah.
TV and doing
Yeah.
whatever. And then at some point, I had to work, so I took a break, and he kept going, and he got ahead of me. And then I was
Wow.
like, okay, a little switch flipped inside of me. I'm like, I need to beat a 10-year-old. And so there are shortcuts to Legos, right? Like
Yeah.
each one of those front windows
Mm,
was a bag,
mm,
and they were all built the same way. So
mm.
I did the bottom one, and I'm like, oh, this is how you do it. So I just spilled out the bag, and without even looking at the instructions, I just started building like at a
Yeah.
clip.
Yeah.
And like he was still doing it like one at a you're good.
Yeah.
He was still doing it one at a time. So I was like, I like kicked it in, and yeah. So I beat an 11-year-old. So makes me feel really good.
Funny. That is too funny. Yeah, because I know with my kids, my 7-year-old, he just had his birthday yesterday. He loves Legos. It's like a currency in my house.
Oh yeah.
But getting him to focus on like a $30 Lego set, like by the end of it, I'm like literally ready to scream.
Oh yeah.
Like at that point he's playing with the minifigure, and then he's just kind of throwing other pieces together, and whatever it is that needs to happen all falls on me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it myself. You can play with it when it's done.
Well, I wonder, like growing up, I did Legos, right? Played with Legos, and there were things you had to build, but I never built them. Like at that age, like it wasn't until I was like 12 that I was actually building what was in the kit.
Yeah.
And so like, I didn't care. I just threw all the pieces in a box and just did whatever. But like now a lot of them, like 90% of them are all like sets. Like I used to get a box of Lego, like just the, like the random, just like the general box.
Yeah. That's what I had too.
So like, I wonder if for us, as collectors going, no, you have to build what's on the box. You got to build what's on the box. Like, don't worry. Or do they want this? Do they want like the X-Wing, or do they want the thing?
You know what's interesting is he finally was like, Dad, they're really hard to play with. Like, so he wanted Halo Mega Constructs sets.
Oh, God help you.
And then he's like, Dad, these are really hard to play with. Like, he had a really cheap set. He's like, and then he saw at GameStop the big Halo figures. So I got him a couple of those. And he's like, these are so much more fun to play with. And, he got to take something to school today to show his friends. And he took his 6.5-inch Master Chief. And he was so pumped about it. But he's like, I can never take the Lego, Dad. It wouldn't survive in my backpack. And I'm like, he's kind of true with that, So like,
yeah. The Mega Constructs are not good. I don't like. I've got Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
And I just refuse to build it because I just know how difficult the instructions are really difficult, and because they don't match the colors and the shapes sometimes, and they don't hold together as well as Lego. Like they're not as precise. So or they're too tight. Like they feel like they're like you're not doing it right because they're so but no, I'm not. I get that. Like I would rather action figures. I think that's why growing up, like I liked the action figures more than I liked Lego.
Me too.
It wasn't until I was older and wanted to do because I could never do models. I never had the patience to glue and sand and paint, and that wasn't going to happen. So it was always Lego was just easy. So
I did a Call of Duty Black Hawk. I don't know, maybe like 6 years ago. And because that was when I was still working down at Sikorsky, and every piece was slate gray. It was like 1,200 pieces, and by the end of it, I was like seeing dots.
Oh,
all
I
I
didn't
could
even
do
think
was
about that.
Count the dots. So, and I'm like, oh, okay, is this one with 8? Is this one with 12? And like, I'm just constantly counting, and it's one of those things I'll never take it apart because I don't want to ever put it back together again.
I didn't even think about that. I got Castle Grayskull. They're all green.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I'm never putting that one together. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's never happening. I was going to take the minifigures out and just.
That's one of those things that may be cheaper to get like a high school kid for like $8 an hour and be like, here, all you have to do is put this thing together.
Correctly.
It might cost you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might cost you $60, but it's the only way it's getting together,
I got it on sale. The $60 would be easy. Yeah. So what have you been up to? What's anything new? Did you get anything new? Anything fun?
So we got the Super 7 Turtles.
Which ones?
I got all of them now. So that's another reason you got to come over.
I know. I want to see them.
I know for a fact, and I'm going to tell you, I've even been waiting for you. I haven't opened all of them yet. I only opened. Who did I open?
We should
Leo.
We can make it a toy of the day. Like we can
100%. I opened Leo, Raph, and 1 Foot Soldier. I got 2 Foot Soldiers.
Okay.
But I was like, these are really cool. These are really good.
All right, well, my
I'm telling
Thundercats,
you-
I'll bring my Thundercats. I'll bring my Thundercats. I'll come play with your turtles. You can check out my Thundercats.
It's scary how I've become like a Super 7 collector. And I
I
blame it
know.
almost entirely on the fact there's nothing at the stores. It's like,
Yeah.
me not having a commute to hit up like 3 or 4 stores a day, plus me kind of liking the laid back thing of where, hey, just click order here on BBTS, and at some point next year you'll get your thing. And then all of a sudden there's impending doom coming over the next few months where it's like we have how many waves of Turtles and Thundercats, and then behind that Silverhawks, and then behind that G.I. Joe, that are all coming. And my wife is going to start to figure out these Super 7 car payments that are coming out of the checking account every month.
Are you doing Thundercats?
I'm doing everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got in on that Thunder tank. Like it was like 10:30 at night. And I'm like, fear of missing out. I'm like, I know you were getting to, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh boy, I'm like, it's just going to get more expensive, as expensive as it is now. I'm on a payment plan through Sideshow.
Yeah.
So it's like $48 a month for, the next 10 months or whatever it is. And they're always delayed. So I'm like, oh, this will be fine. Like, we'll do all the payments and I'll get it regular shipment because, there's no way it's going to come on time. It's going to be a couple months behind.
I don't know where I'm going to put that thing.
I don't know either. I know this thing is going to be half the size of this table that I'm sitting at, which is like a kitchen table.
It's going to take up that whole counter right there. Like it's going to. I'm going to have to clear the whole thing to put the Thundercats up there. And then like 2, 3, and 4 are supposed to ship by Christmas. I mean, that's like $250.
That's why I'm doing Christmas shopping now.
Yeah,
because we're going to be pretty broke at the end of this year.
At the end of the year, I'm broke now.
Because there's Wave 4 Turtles coming at the same time.
See, I didn't do Turtles. I went for the NECA.
Oh, you're going to do Turtles. When you come to my house and you see these Turtles.
Well, but the secondary, I'm not going to want to pay the secondary on them. So
you know what, though? They are, so on Amazon, with the exception of like the Foot Soldier, they're still pretty close to retail. And when I say retail, I mean like between $45 and $60.
Okay, but here's the thing. I am deep with NECA.
Yeah.
And like I don't have the affinity for Turtles that I think a lot of other people do. So like I have all the animated ones. Yep. I've got 8 to 10 Foot Soldiers already. And so see, that's the thing with Joe, where I'm kind of like, I'm kind of in, but I've got like 6 Vipers, 6 Troopers, 6 Cobra Island Troopers, 6 Hand Ninjas. I can't do 6 Super 7 Bats. Like I can't do 6, 7. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not my like. So like I am.
No, I understand that. I totally get that.
And so I want a collection where I can do that, right? And so I pre-ordered the Joe set just because I'm like hedging my bets, going, well, even if I don't like them, fine, I'll just sell them, and the aftermarket will be fine. Same thing with Mezco. Like I ordered Roadblock and I ordered Destro, and was like, I'll do it, right? But if I don't like them, like they're not samples, like I'm paying for it out of my pocket. So it's like I have no qualms about reselling them at some point if I need to. But I
out of all of those lines that you just said, though, right? Because especially for Joe, right? You've got now the Mezco, Classified, and Super 7.
Yep.
Right. So we went from never really having much outside of the 4 and 12-inch scale.
Yeah.
Except for Sigma 6, which, to be honest with you, I got all in on that. That's actually what got me back into collecting. but so it's like feast or famine, right? And now we have this new scale. And I was working the other day and I started to notice that all the things around me on the desk are no longer 4-inch items.
No.
Like, I actually think I'm kind of done. And I never thought I would get to this point. I kind of think I'm done buying 4-inch items. Like, with the last few things that I need, they're so expensive on the secondary market because they're collector club item. I got like maybe 8 figures I need left. The cheapest ones are like the price of a Super 7 wave. I think I would rather now have a Super 7 wave of figures than have one 4-inch figure who I know is a repaint and he's kind of like a D-list character. But I think out of all of them, I'm least excited for Mezco. And I say that as somebody who's pre-ordered all of them. Like, I mean, everything classified, I've either gotten it or it's on its way.
Yeah.
I ordered Super 7. I ordered the set of 4, and then I have 5 more bats coming, so I'm at 6.
All right, so I'll come over and take pictures of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mezco, I ordered the Destro, I ordered the Roadblock, but I will tell you, I was very apprehensive about the Roadblock. And I'm apprehensive about figures at that scale and cloth. Like, I've never actually held the Mezco in my hand. I've seen them in boxes at shows, but I've never held them. And I don't.
We can fix that.
Oh, okay. I don't want Roadblock in his pajamas, and that's what makes me nervous.
Oh, they're not. No, I was looking to see if I have one in the room. No, they're all put away right now. But no, you can come check. At some point, or I'll bring them over. I bring over like, a Superman or a Flash. They don't, that was my thought too. Like, my initial thought with Mezco was like, they're going to be weirdly sized and they're going to look awkward and, they're going to look like that. But, they're not. I mean, some of them are. There are some that kind of just weird. There's some like some of the suits, some of the guys in suits, like they look good, but there's some weird fabric stitching because it's so small. Like you can only hide that the seams so well or the button so well. So there's some that are kind of a little awkward if you don't get it posed right. But I don't think that they look like kids in feety pajamas. My thing is, I don't know. Like, Destro was definitely an investment for me. Like, I'm excited for it. I think it looks good. I think the accessories are good. Destro was an investment. Roadblock was Hasbro hasn't done it right. They did it right. This will be my Roadblock in classified because it'll be about the same scale. Yeah. And then they did the Amazon one, and I was like, oh God, okay. Well, here we go. Here we are.
It's a good figure.
Yeah,
it's a really good figure.
It's the best one they've done. I think it's that and Snake Eyes, the Snake Eyes Timber set. I think whatever they decide, they were like, okay, we screwed up. We tried to do this weird Nerf gun crap with these. Nobody likes it. So we're going to shift and we're going to give them what they want. And I mean, from Breaker to Barbecue to, even the Vipers, you're looking at them going, oh no, this is what we've wanted since the beginning. You know what I mean? Like,
and I think they have that direction now. I mean, I remember listening to interviews with Lenny Panzica, right when the line was first coming out, and it felt like they were trying to find, sort of what their look was going to be, and they were talking very much about being a couple minutes into the future, and and it being a different team, and then when it started selling, I think they started seeing that, hey, look, these things that are classic inspired are just, you can't even find them. I mean, especially with those Cobra Island figures. But think about the Cobra Island figures, like before Target did all of its, additional inventory a couple months ago. A Viper was easily $100.
Yeah.
Right? So let me ask you this: Super 7, those bats at 55.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's no way this time next year, after they've been out for a couple months, you can buy one for under like 110 or 115. I think
I think they're going to go up.
instantly.
I think they are.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I think it's going to, whatever happen. I mean, so here's the other thing. It depends if like, Super 7 orders are closed, but I know they sell in the store. I know they sell at cons. I know Big Bad ordered a bunch. You know what I mean? I think it depends if like Entertainment Earth and Big Bad, all the secondary like sellers, all the e-tailers, if they sell out, yes. But I think they all have to sell out for that to happen. Unless people are lazy. Like some people are lazy, and you constantly see that on all the boards and all the groups where they're like, "Hey, does anybody know where I can get this? I'll pay like twice." And everybody's like, "It's in stock at Big Bad. Like just go order it for whatever. Like and add shipping $4. Like why are you, do some work. Like don't be stupid and like here you want to throw away your money. Okay, fine, throw away your money." I think it's different than these like HasLab things where they solicited or, they took all the orders. So whatever, 32,000 for Galactus, right? They're probably going to make like 3,400. You know what I mean? Like, because they have to make a certain percentage for breakage or problems, I think. And I don't even know if that's true for like a crowdfund with this stuff. I know like Mezco and NECA, they do like a 10% and they hold them for defects and things like that. So they can, swap them out for a certain percentage. Yeah. But I don't know with these crowdfunds if that's what happens or if they sold 32,952, they make 32,952 of them and that's it. You know what I mean? Or, a dozen more for staff and for shows and things like that. So I don't know if that's the case because those, like the barge was like $500. I've seen auctions go for like $2,500.
Yeah.
And I think the Razor Crest is going to be the same way. I think the Sentinels are going to be like just continue to rise because people are going to want more. Like I'm sitting here going, I only ordered 3. God damn it. I only ordered 3. What is wrong with me? Like, why didn't I order a cool dozen of them? Like, why didn't I order 5 of them? Like, why did I stop at 3? I know money is the reason, but like, but 3 plus the like dozen or so other Sentinels I have in the house will look cool together. But like, yeah.
How about Galactus? You have one Galactus coming?
I have one Galactus coming.
As somebody who doesn't really have many legends, I got really tempted at the end of that.
We can fix that, if you come over. I could just give you
I was
some.
thinking about it because you know what? I'm starting to see, and this is, and I know I'm behind the curve on this because I was so deep into trying to have a complete modern era Joe collection for so long. I kind of put off other things, but there is such a difference in the quality of a legend from early on to the stuff that's coming out now. Yeah. And Black Series too. It's hard not to really get sucked in, you know, and
well, I think what is the saving grace for people, for a lot of people, you included, is that we are so far down the rabbit hole that and they do remake figures, right? From time to time, they do kind of the harder to find ones, they do, but it has become such this hole that if you didn't start with them, for the most part, you're SOL. Like you're just not, you're not going to get to where you want to get to. Because now it's like I'm looking at going, all right, so I finally got the new Iron Man, right? And it's got the Robert Downey Jr. heads, and it's like, okay, so now I've got the big 3, and it's like, but that cap, that big 3 cap, which is, here he is. It's this one. And
the worthy cap,
right? And I cut up the shields myself, but like, this is going for like $100, $80, $90.
Wow, that was like a Walmart exclusive too. I remember those, right?
Like I picked up one for $4. Like,
Yeah.
it was on clearance at one point. So it's like, but now you got this. Well, now you don't have Cap. So now you got to go track that. So like there's this idea where like Legends is going on 20 years next year, I think. And it's like, I don't have any of my toy. I have a few of my Toy Biz, and the early Hasbro stuff was crap, like utter crap. They just weren't finding their footing. It wasn't until kind of they relaunched with Winter Soldier that they started finding their footing, and even those figures are questionable. It really, I don't think it really hit until like the Absorbing Man wave. That Spider-Man wave with like the Venom and the Absorbing Man, and then Walgreens jumped on board and Toys R Us was doing stuff. Like they really hit their stride. And then it's just like they're doing another Fan First Monday, Wednesday next week. And I'm just like, I'm out. Like I can't, like guys, just stop. Like you got PulseCon coming in like October, I think, or November. And it's like, please just stop. Just like, as much as I love the line, I'm like, please just stop. I can't afford it. Like
they've been warning us all year though. I every time I go on Twitter, I see Dan Yu. He's like, guys, if you think this is crazy, just wait till next month. And it's like more and more and more good stuff.
But it doesn't stop. Like Transformers doesn't do this. G.I. Joe doesn't do this. Star Wars doesn't do this. Like to this level.
Transformers, I feel like we're missing a wave. I don't know.
Yeah, we are. The fourth wave hasn't been announced. It's, I mean, it's already out overseas. It's the Beast Wars, Tigertron, I think Waspinator, and a couple others that are like the fourth wave of Kingdom, like the final wave for the year. Yeah. And they haven't been announced yet, but they're out. Like I've seen like packaged reviews of those figures, and I'm like, guys, like you got to announce them at some point, right? Like they're going to hit shelves. But like, I don't even think I really saw the last wave with Trax and Scorponok in store. And Galvatron.
I didn't, and I don't see this. I don't get out to the stores with any level of frequency you do, but I'm at the point now, if I'm not pre-ordering it, I figure I'm not guaranteeing that I get it. It used to be, if I don't pre-order it, sooner or later I'll catch on to that wave. Yeah. And even with Amazon, some of those figures, you don't even see it like come in stock. It's like they're filling their pre-orders, and then that's kind of it. You just, you don't really see it again. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Big Bad actually has been like the winner for Transformers this year. Like I know DJ's been ordering from Big Bad, and he typically gets his stuff about 3 weeks before I get mine. Yeah. So like, but yeah, Kingdom's almost done. And then I saw that leak list that one of those websites put up, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. I want like 4 or 5 tops from that list. And I'm like, okay, I get a little bit of a reprieve, because like I can't pick it up because it's holding up some things, but like the arc is like right here. Like, well, the box is there, but the arc itself is down there. And it's like, okay, I get a little bit of breathing room. Like, because I really want Blaster. I think Blaster is like, I think he was on that list, and he's a big want for me. And so really excited to get him. I hope they don't screw him up again, because they never go classic. Like I almost want him in 86 just so that they actually get him right. But I feel a little bit like I'm reprieved. He's not
in 86, because I feel like we were waiting on a Perceptor too, right? And he's come in Studio Series 86. Yeah. He looks so good.
He does.
He was an instant pre-order for me.
I don't think Blaster was really in the movie, to be honest with you, to like warrant him. Like the Dinobots were, and Perceptor was, and all the characters they're doing were enough so that they kind of feature there. But like, I don't think Blaster had like a starring role, like a standout in that movie. So like the idea of him being in it, I get why they're not going to do it. It doesn't fit the theme, but like, I just hope they do it justice, like they did with Soundwave, where like the first one was kind of iffy, and then the second one they were like, no, you can turn them into a tape deck. Like we're gonna let you, the transformation will be there. And
no, that's the Netflix one, the Walmart one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's another one. I only found it because you helped me find it.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. That was really a hard one to find.
Actually, I don't know if I bought that one. Oh, no. I bought that one. I didn't buy the Optimus because the Optimus I already had. So, yeah. So I bought the Soundwave. And that was the thing. The one at Southington, like I had, I warned you, and then I was in there, and I saw it. Somebody had swapped out the Siege one for the Netflix one. Oh. And they look exactly the same in robot mode. So, the guy was just like holding it, and he's like, oh, I got it. And I'm like, actually, that's the wrong one. Flip over the box. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, look at the chest. He's like, yeah, the chest is cracked. Why is it cracked? I go, because they took an old one that does not transform this way, and they put it in this box. And look, the way that they reuse things and the way that they got us with Siege really pisses me off, because I'm like, you could have done other things. Like you could have given us a Bumblebee then, like the Bumblebee, the Origins Bumblebee that we just got, that I picked up at Target. Like there are a lot of things they could have done for Siege that they didn't need to do in Siege. Like I know they wanted big names, but like they did a good job with the Jeep. I'm drawing a blank. Hound. They did a good job with Hound. They did a good job with Optimus and Megatron. Megatron only changed slightly in the alt mode, but like I think Siege was like definitely like just a cash grab. Like it just, because they redid everybody got redone. In 1 year.
And there's a new Red Alert coming out too. So that was like the last holdout from Siege as far as those, Lamborghini brothers.
Yeah. And I'm even on the fence whether or not I want it, just because it's like, I want the bot mode. I don't really care what the car looks like for the most part. Like I store them in their car modes because I don't lose parts and they kind of fit better places. But like, as far as like when I want to display them, they're all going to be in bot mode. Like, so bot mode looks good enough.
The one I didn't grab, because I'm like, I already bought the Siege Megatron. It was the Walmart Netflix Megatron with more of the metallic paint on it. I'm like, that's one of those ones I keep going back and I think about. I'm like, that actually looked a lot better. Like I think that is like maybe the default of those Megatrons. Like
I got the Earthrise one, and I think that they updated it slightly, just slightly. And gave him a flat gray. So I think it wasn't dirtied up like the Siege one was, like all kind of like the paint splatter. So I think that one is like my default Megatron, just because it's plainer. Like, and honestly, I don't think I would have bought it if Hasbro didn't send it to me. Like I got lucky and it was in like a, hey, check out Earthrise, and they sent a little like care package. Sure. And I don't think I would have bought it on its own, just because it wasn't different enough.
Does it have that floppy neck piece?
Not as bad as the first one.
Oh yeah, the Siege one was really bad.
It would just drop right down.
Yeah. What about the Transformers HasLab? Are you going to back that?
No. I didn't do Unicron. I was like $700. No, like like $700 for something that I can't play with. No. Because you can't play with Unicron. Like you could transform them, but it's a display piece. Like the Sentinels, they are a display piece, but you can pose them out and have some fun with them.
Yeah.
Same thing with Galactus. Whoever got the Razor Crest, there's so many plate features and ways to display it. But like Unicron just feels like I agree.
Yeah. I agree. So I agree. The shell piece of it, right? I feel like it would be really hard to even pose it aside from just standing.
Yeah.
What ultimately was an issue for me is kind of just like the original USS Flag. Like, I feel like as cool as it is, and it's really cool, it's still so at a scale that I struggle with it. Like Unicron, and I know there's limits; they can only go so big, right? But he's not that much bigger than a Titan.
No. Well,
So
and
that's what.
yeah, but the flag, okay, the flag, I would probably agree with you to an extent, but you couldn't fit like a half dozen planes on it, but you could land a plane on it.
Oh yeah,
and the tower was big enough to have rooms that the characters could fit in. Like, so it I think it worked in that respect. But I get what you're saying.
It does. I agree with you, because there are situations where it looks really good, and there are situations where it looks really crowded really fast.
Yeah.
Like one Sky Striker on it, it looks pretty good. A Skyhawk or a Tomahawk, I think it looks even better.
Yeah.
Right. And then 2-3 jets, it's just it looks crazy.
Well, you got to put one jet on, right?
Yeah.
And then you gotta do a little bit of a cradle and have one jet going up and then one jet coming down, and they won't actually be on there, so it won't mess with the like. That's how you have to display it. So you turn a 7-foot display piece into about a 10 to 12-foot display piece, and then you get a Rattler coming in from different angles, and you can expand it. Like, you could really make that work into a room. I mean, but here's the thing, right? You're saying that about Unicron, you're saying that about the flag. I think it all comes down to passion, though, right? Because it's like you weren't willing to go on those, right? Or, I mean, if somebody handed you a flag right now, would you turn it down?
Well, so a flag is my grail. It's just that is the thing I need to say, okay, I'm kind of done collecting 4-inch Joe.
Well, let me know when that happens, because I might have a line.
Oh, really? So the problem is that, like, when we were buying this house last year, I had one that I could have gotten almost complete, right? So they're all missing the rail on the back. They're all missing like the same little pieces, which I have no problems getting like a 3D printed part for that, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to sell it. It's just for myself, so that way it looks more complete. And it was $650, and we were spending money more than made me comfortable to buy our house, and my wife's like, you should probably just go do it. And I should have listened to her, and I didn't. And now a flag in that same condition is like $1,500 to $1,800. So in the last year, the prices have just gone insane. So I'm hoping that they maybe settle back down.
I think they'll turn back around once people settle in. I think it'll flip around.
Yeah, because I would love to get one, but that's still kind of my number: $650, $700, and I know they're not making more, although that would be the one Joe HasLab thing that makes sense to me. It's never going to happen.
No, because like they said, like a shield helicarrier would be like the size of a house. A classified flag would be like the size of 3 cars. Like,
oh my God, a classified one that makes even less sense to me. It's just so big.
But here's the thing, right? It goes back to the passion of it, right? And I think peer pressure worked for you. But here's the thing. I got a Thunder Tank. I don't know where the hell it's going to live, right? But there was no way I wasn't going to get it. But like equally so, they did He-Man. They did, they did Snake Mountain. I love He-Man. You've seen how many different ways I can review He-Man in the last year. Like mini, World's Smallest, Mega Constructs, Origins, Revelation, like everything under the sun I've been buying. I wasn't good. I didn't buy Snake Mountain. I didn't buy Castle Grayskull, the classic Castle Grayskull. I don't have it. And so like, but when it's like Legends and Thundercats are like my, like, I will die for them. Like, I just like, okay, we're just going to do it. Cause like, I just have to do it because I know I will kick myself later. And this comes from somebody that sold an entire Legends collection. I had everything that Toy Biz made, everything that they made, with the exception of like 2 figures. And I parted it out and sold everything, Build-A-Figures, everything that wouldn't fit in with Universe, because I was collecting Universe at the time. And so the 3 3/4, so like Mojo, MODOK, Sentinels, Frost Giants, Ant-Man, all those fit in scale with Universe. But all the regular size stuff, gone. Just sold it all. Every single one I owned. And then a couple years later, I went back in and I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this cycle. I'm okay with it, how it is. But I know that I know the return on investment will be amazing if I do this. So it's kind of, it's like a twofold. It's like an addiction because I need to have them all. But on the other hand, I also know that if I choose to let these go, I will at least break even. I will get it all back. I might not make money on it, but I will break even. So that's the nice thing about it.
So I agree with you. There is definitely this fear of missing out and this addiction component of, probably a good amount of the purchases we buy. But think about what you've been buying lately. What line brings you the most joy? And not to get all Marie Kondo on you, but what line, when you get it, does it just make you so happy? You're like, this is so well done. I really like this. Because I know I definitely get those packages in the mail where I get them, it goes into the closet, and I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited that I have it, but I haven't opened it yet. But I know there's one line that as soon as it comes, I'm tearing into it, and I'm like, this just makes me happy. So what's yours?
Did you see this? I don't have those feelings right now. I am just trying to get through the next 96 days. You know what? So I would say the difference for me is this is a means to, yesterday, I legit went to Target yesterday and bought stuff I don't want. 100%. I bought stuff I don't want just to be able to have a review. So right now, it's all about where's it going to get me? How many days am I going to get out of this? It's how many, because I counted and I'm I got 20 days. What I have in front of me and behind me, I have about 20 days. I still have 90 some odd days to go.
Wow. So like I said, I got those Super 7 turtles. Come over, take a wave or two. There's 4 days right there.
Well, and so there's a problem with that too, because there's a part of me that goes, I did a guest post with Bill, right? Because I felt like we needed to cover it. It was something that we talked to Mezco about, and before Bill decided to take a break and step back from the site, it was something that we had bought. So I was like, okay, so you will honor those kind of reviews, saying, hey, we'll do a review when it comes out, just a conversational piece. And then Jesse got the Millennium Falcon, the ultimate one, the big Lego one. And so he wrote a review, and I've got it, and I've got the photos and everything. And I said, I'm not going to put it up because it gets swallowed by the front page. So we're going to do I'm going to do a Q&A with him about it. But somebody said to me this week, I think multiple people said to me this week, just borrow toys from friends because you don't collect everything, right? And I'm like, yeah, no, but I feel like it's cheating.
Yeah. I understand that. And you're not the only one I've heard say that. So I think that's valid.
I want to come see him. I definitely want to come see him and play with him. And I would gladly slot it in for a toy of the day. Yeah. But not have it be because Bill just got the new Jason from NECA, and I could ask him to borrow it, but I don't have any affinity for the Friday the 13th series, and I don't know enough about the character other than he wears a hockey mask and stabs people, and that he wasn't the killer in the first movie, and that's because I watched Scream. That's what I know. So it's I don't feel like I can do it. Now, what I will say is those nunchucks back there are something that like I waited almost a year and a half for. There is a artist online that makes replicas, and he is in South America. And when COVID hit, he had posted right before everything kind of shut down. He had posted that he was doing some, getting rid of some things that he had made for cosplay costumes and stuff, and those were one of them. So I emailed him and said, "Hey, I'll buy them." And so he was like, "I checked, and we can't ship to the U.S." He goes, because, ship, postal service, customs, everything kind of closed for a while. As far as like, that wasn't like letters and things like, so packages and stuff were kind of like shut. He's like, so I can't ship to you right now. They're not allowing it from our post office. And I'm like, okay. So I waited and waited and waited. And then he posted that like he was able to sell again like 2 months ago. And I was like, hey, still got the nunchucks I wanted? And he's like, yep. And so I got a pair of real Panthro nunchucks. They've got the claws. Here, I'll show you. Hold on.
Yeah, I can see the claws on the bottom. That's really cool.
So they've got the claws.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
It's a real chain. They're not like, I'm not going to swing these things around, but like I could. They are solid resin. Like
seeing them up close, here on the Zoom call, it doesn't do it justice just in the background on the Toy of the Day videos.
Well, but here's the thing. I won't do these as a Toy of the Day.
Yeah.
So like there are certain things in this room that I won't do as a Toy of the Day. Like I bought like Morris up there from Shang-Chi.
Yep.
And like I got the Thundercat, the Cat's Lair, the old school one, and then my my little Dick Grayson homage there. I won't do those reviews because it's like those are for me. So there are certain things that are just for me.
Effects figures too, right? I know you've talked about that in the past, right? Like, is that effects behind you, the Hush figures?
Oh yeah. Those are all just for me. Like they don't count towards Toy of the Day. They don't count for the website. I don't do the reviews on them because I got to keep something just for me.
I totally get that. I think it's good too because you're setting boundaries within yourself too. It's like everybody needs to sort of have a line, as to what they keep private and what they put out there. So I think that's fine. I think that makes good sense.
But like goes back to your question, like what makes me happy. That those kind of things are what like really excite me. Like I'm excited to get my Sentinels. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm excited to get them. And Legends really, I feel like I work really hard to get Legends.
Yeah.
So when I get something in store or I get it early from like a e-tailer, like I'm like, like it's a feeling of accomplishment, but it doesn't bring me joy, like real joy. Because the other thing is what happens with all this stuff is they just end up in bins right now. Like they're all organized in bins and labeled and bagged and tagged and so they don't get damaged and I don't lose parts and things. I don't really have the space. We were joking the other day. I said at some point you'll have to bring the boys over to see the museum because I would like to set up the basement. I bought a bunch of shelves from IKEA and I started like putting all these bins labeled and organized on these shelves. And what I'd like to do is be able to clear the other side of the basement and then figure out how to build a table. And I don't mean like a kitchen table. I mean like a, maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just buying tables and then covering them. But it's the idea of like, you've never been to San Diego, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I would see all the pictures of the big dioramas.
So I want a Legends diorama down there, but I'm gonna have to tent off the ceiling because it's open bays downstairs. Yeah. So there's not dust and stuff falling every times everybody walks and sawdust and all that stuff. So I'll have to tent or put a drop ceiling in but I want to build. I mean, that's why I army build. Like, I got 20. No, I've got 5. I think I have like 13 or 14 red hand ninjas. I got 10 of the gray ones coming. I'm easily going to buy 20 scroll. I'm easy going to buy 10 to 15 of those 2-packs for the shield agents. Like, because it looks like I did that picture with the Hulk the other day where the Hulk's got like one red ninja and the other one's running away and the other one's he's stepping on. It's like, it just looks so cool. Like to pose them out and play with them.
Oh, I've got another red ninja here with your name on it because I bought that red ninja, out of that Legends wave, and I put him with the classified red ninjas, and my OCD is just going insane.
I'll take him. I would gladly take him easily.
Yeah, he's got your name on it just because. Although I will tell you, those stilt legs made for like a cool backdrop piece. It kind of looked like two like pillars.
Yeah, they do. I've got like in one of the boxes here, I've got like 8 of them, and they don't stand. Like they don't stand. Like after you get past 2, he just leans. So like but they're hollow. So part of me wants to buy either wooden dowels or metal dowels. I think metal probably be better. So that he will stand straight. But I can easily do each of those 6 inches, and I've got 8 plus 4 or 5, so like 13. So 13 divided by like 7 feet. He's at least 7 to 8 feet tall at this point. If I were to build him, so
it's cool in the diorama.
It's fun. Like, okay, so here's the thing though. I really have been enjoying the ability to, I don't know how to describe it, but like catalog it. Like, I've been doing the master stuff, and because I did the beginning videos, all the old 80s master stuff has been in this room, has been in the office. So like, I just did like these minis. And I was like, oh, I got the Roton right here. So I'll just pull it out. I'm like, oh, I got Fisto right here. And I got Strider right here. So I'll pick out the 80s one and I'll pull them up and I'll stand them next to each other. And I'm like, I really like that. And like to just be able to go into a bin and go, okay, I need 6 AIM soldiers. I want a Wolverine. I want a Red Skull. I need this guy. I need Zemo. Okay. And like, I can just build this little scene, throw them back into the parts box, bring them downstairs, reorganize, put them back. And that's been the most fun for me. It's just not going fast enough.
Yeah, you need like big tackle boxes, because I know the 4-inch Joe collectors, they would use like tackle boxes, or they would use like these tool storage drawers, right? And there would be a whole wall of them, and they'd 82 to 94, and that's how they knew where all their figures were.
Well, I should have invested in these, like the 6 whatever, the cheap one, not the big ones, but like just the regular shoe boxes. Yeah, I easily have bought 200 of these in the last year, and so each box gets a label, and then usually with like Legends or Star Wars, a wave or a like classification. Like I've got Star Wars Bad Batch, Star Wars Mandalorian, Star Wars. They're not by wave. Legends are all by wave because it's easier to part them out that way. And because it kind of, it grows. So it's easier. The wave is complete and compact. And so everything's labeled, everything's bagged, and then all accessories are bagged with them going forward. The problem is I didn't start doing that. So like I have to go back. And so every time I bring something up to do new pictures, I will bag them and label them. So when they go back downstairs, they're labeled. And so there's an entire wall that's like 6 feet by like 9 feet of shelves that are full. And then I have to go to IKEA, but IKEA sold out of the shelving that I had started with.
What shelving were you using?
Just the pine.
Just like the Billy bookshelves, like with the back, or
no back. They're just open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just open bay kind of. My phone. It's right.
Almost like what's behind it.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly that. Yeah. Exactly. Gotcha. So they sold it. I bought extras. Like I had like 2 of them, or 3 of them. And then I bought like 2 more to expand that wall. And so there's like a wall with like 4 sections. And I got to build another wall to kind of make an aisle out of it. So
nice.
So yeah. I don't know.
I think the biggest piece of it is having a plan, right? I mean, we're you know, I think every time I talk to you, I'm like, yeah, we're just about to start on the basement office / collection room.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I'm the one now who's holding things up because I don't know exactly what I want to do. And it's like, I want to have the most amount of wall space to have my cabinets down there. And I can't tell you how many nights I've spent on Microsoft Excel and with a tape measure and on the IKEA website trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to do this? Because, you know, you've got the DTOF, which everybody does.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gotten old. Right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I started looking at doing the Besta. So the Besta is like a bigger box, and you can get, you know, like framed glass doors on it, and they actually look really good. I'll have to send you some pictures, but they get really expensive really fast.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, to do say 9, probably like 2 foot by 2 foot cubes of Bestas. You know, you're talking several $100s. But I'm going to do it once and do it right.
Yeah.
But trying to find that path forward the way, you know, I was looking at Magicase, and they're for a totally different income bracket than where I'm at.
Yeah. I've looked at that kind of stuff where like the storage stuff to be able to kind of organize parts and things like that, like extra heads and parts and stuff like that. And I just look at it, go, oh yeah, no, I'm not. No. Like, plastic shoe boxes from Walmart are going to do the job for me. Like, and pine shelves from IKEA. Like, because like, I mean, and those work great. Like they are exactly what I need. It's just the time. Yeah. You know, we honestly keep saying this, and at some point we just have to do it. Like you said at the beginning of the conversation, where it's like, I will come over sometime and we can just sit there with a beer and sit back and go, all right, so you want to put like this here and this here and this here. Okay. What if you do, and I'll help you do that. And then you got to come over for an afternoon and help me organize some of the basement so that I can kind of like, I'm going to tell you, it's scary. I've showed DJ and Jesse like on video, and they're like, we're having a panic attack for you. Because it looks like a hoarder, because what happens is I do the reviews, I put them in a box, I stack them downstairs. The problem is then I start digging for something, and then there's odd stuff. Like I'm like, I got all these Marvel Legends bases, but they don't fit in a traditional box. So I have them like this big box, but then that big box doesn't really have a top that fits. So then it's just placed on top of a bunch of stuff, and then stuff gets like, it's scary. But like when you see it, I think people like us look at it and go, oh, I get this. And I can like, and that's the problem. Like my girlfriend has offered to help. My mom has offered to help. And I'm like, guys, I do. But like, you're going to look at it and go, oh, this is a plane. Right. And they're going to go, this goes in the vehicle. And I'm like, no, this goes in the mini Transformers box. And like, there's, and it's not their fault. And I'm not mad. And I appreciate the offer, but it's like, I look at it and go, it's just easier for me to do it myself. And
somebody has to know what it is,
right,
in order to figure out where it goes. Yeah.
Or even have just like a passing understanding of like, oh, this is Marvel and this is DC and this is Star Wars and this is GoBots or this is Transformers, and like just be able to part that out. But it's just about space. So I feel like if I get another row of those shelves, I'll be able to get stuff off the floor. Yeah. And then once I can get it off the floor, I can, visually see it.
I don't know what kind of hurry you're in, but over the next few weeks, I'm clearing out the last bit of sort of stuff that's down there. And I do have like some, shelving, kind of like what you got behind you. Some of them are metal or stuff like that. Hey, it may work. Let me know. You're right down the street from me. I'm probably looking to junk some stuff. I'll send you some pictures of what we got down there.
Yeah, well, because then there's the opposite side. Like I was looking for something in my garage, so I had to pull apart. Because like there's also a special section in my car where I just like, all right, so I bought this, like I bought the Newcastle Grayskull. I didn't open it yet. I just threw it in the car, but then all right, I got to put stuff in the car for work. So Grayskull has to come out. So Grayskull goes in the garage really quick while I'm running to work. And then, Marvel Legends box sets I buy for parts and things. All right, well, those are in the car. I got to clean it out. So like now the garage has all box stuff that I haven't opened yet.
Yeah.
From the last couple of years. It's just one of those things where it's like, even if I had the time, I'll be honest with you, even if I had the time, it just feels so overwhelming that it's like,
yeah. You just got to force yourself to do it. And I think one of the easiest ways to do that is just be like, you know what, this is it. It's got to move now, right? Like we got to start doing it now.
Well, the other problem is I have filled up so many spaces too for me that I go, okay, but I also need the space to be able to put this now, because then it's just moving this pile to here.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so we're going to pile everything up here. Okay, that's good. But then we start going through this pile and we go, okay, but we need to put this somewhere, because that's the other problem is there's not a lot of garbage. Like that's the difference. Like there's stuff that needs to leave and eBay and get out, but there's not garbage. So it's not as easy of just being like, okay, so we'll just throw out all this stuff. And so that's the other reason I'm like, you gotta bring the boys over, or you gotta come over and just pick up stuff. Like just look in the basement, whatever you see that's not open. Some stuff is earmarked that I want to keep in the package. 90% of it is like, let the boys have it. Like just take whatever you want. Like, so
I think selling things, because I know for a fact I have a lot of stuff that once I get everything set up, it's just either not going to fit, or I'm like, you know what, I don't want to keep it. And it's a lot of Joe stuff, right? But I think selling it is the most intimidating thing for me. And it's not because I'm sad to see it go. And it's just the hassle of doing it, you know.
People are stupid.
Yeah, they are.
So stupid and annoying. You're just like, look here. I'm selling this for $20. You just pay the shipping. Well, can you do free shipping? No, I'm selling you for $20. Like, this is like a $60 figure. It's $20. Like, just even if you pay $10 in shipping, you're still getting it for half price. Like, stop, or they'll haggle over like $1. It's like free shipping. It's $99. I want to pay $98. No. Just no, and that's where I just draw the line in the sand, and I end up just holding on to stuff because I'm like, it's not worth it. Like, it's just not worth fighting with you stupid people, because if you're going to haggle over $1, I'm sure you're going to give me a bad review, or you're going to send it back, or some stupid crap.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't feel like taking time to go to the post office, to ship, like, say, a $4 loose figure. Like, I feel like my time is worth more than the $4.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I look at it and go, okay, it's $4. I'm going to pay $1.15 eBay fees, and then shipping and all that. And then they're starting to do W-9s and things like that for stuff. And I'm like, okay, so really a $4 thing really turns out to be like $1.50. And I just spent $2 in gas. You're like, although I will say Plainville, I usually ship out of Plainville's post office, because they let you just go to the back bay and just dump everything. You just call them, say, hey, I'm dropping stuff off on the back. And I would go with my car, unload the whole thing in the back, and just drop everything there. I don't even have to bring it in to get scanned. It just goes right on a truck and goes out. Like, it's great.
Nice.
Like, I love doing it from there. So that's every place else, like Southington, like they sit there and they make you scan each one individually. And I'm like, I don't need the receipt. I already have the receipt. You just have to take it from me. And they just won't. And I'm just like,
yeah.
So, hey, we're at about an hour. So,
well, let me ask you one question before we go.
Yeah.
Because the thing that's been bringing me joy has been the Origins figures. And as soon as they come into this house, like, that's the only toy that my boys are immediately like, what do we get? What is that? Right. And I think I sent you a picture. We had all of the Castle Grayskull, all the vehicles, all the figures, all laid out, right? All of Skeletor's guys are attack at Castle Grayskull. And, my 7-year-old's like, this is really cool, but we don't have everything. I'm like, no, we actually do. Like, we're current with everything that's out. He's like, no, we don't. We don't have Snake Mountain. And he's like stuck on that, right? So where do you think that line is going to go? I'm curious as to your thoughts.
I think that they burned really hot, really fast. Like within the next year, because they just solicited the next wave or the wave after that. I think it's got Classic Sorceress, somebody else, like past the Webster and Stinkor wave.
Yeah, Buzz Off.
Buzz
right?
Off.
I pre-ordered it last week. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what I ordered either. But so like they're gonna get through like, there's like a dozen or so more that they could probably get away with that won't be just repaints or recolors or redecos. That I think that I hope that Grayskull was this year. I hope Snake Mountain's next year. I think they can wrap it. Like we got a Wind Raider. We don't have a Battle Ram. We got the Sky Sleds, but we don't have the rest of it. Like it'd be nice if we got the rest of it. We got the Land Shark. We got do we don't have the Roton yet, right?
No, that's on my list. That would be one of the must-haves.
The Dragon Walker would be fun. The
Stridor.
Yeah, no, we need Stridor and whatever the night. It's not night. It's whatever. Jitsu's one and his.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I think that they could wrap it next year easily. Like get everything we got as kids. Like we don't have Randor yet. Right?
Neck and neck.
We need. Wait, we didn't get Mech. No, we got Mani Phases.
Yeah, we need like Neck and Neck, Cyclone.
Yeah. Jeez.
Jitsu, I think, is coming. He might even be in the wave.
He might be in that wave, yeah. But then you've got Extendar, you've got Ryoblast, a couple others, Heroes. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, there's a couple. There's at least a dozen or more, maybe
Whiplash.
2 dozen. Yeah, Whiplash. We don't have Whiplash yet. We don't have Clawful yet.
Yeah.
So there's a good 2 dozen worth of figures that they could do over the next year, and then get us a Snake Mountain for next summer, and I'd be happy. Like I don't need a lot more than that. I mean, we're getting the Horde Troopers, and then the PowerCon set tooled up Grizzlor and some of the Horde. So those are going to come in mainline at some point. They didn't tool them up for nothing. So there's I think the line could run for a year or 2 more and be successful and continue. I've given up at retail. Like everything's pre-ordered. Like
me too.
Because it's it's not going to happen. No, it's a fun line. It is. I think I'm most excited for Thundercats. Like I'm dying to get. Like I'm super psyched that we're gonna get 3 waves over the next 4 months. Like that is just it's gonna hurt, but it's gonna be freaking amazing. And then they're gonna announce 5 and maybe 6 once we get those. So those I'm super psyched for because we've never had really good Thundercat figures, and I think we're gonna have really good Thundercat figures.
I bet we get a teaser from Super 7 at PowerCon. What is that, next week or something?
Is it next week?
That?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think Brian Flynn said that they're not going to announce. Where are they? Are they on 5? Yeah, they did 5, right? Or is it up to 4?
Well, I think it's wave 3 is what's coming into their port right now.
2, 3, and 4 have been solicited and should be shipping by the end of the year, I think.
Yeah.
And so 5 is what's coming. And he said he won't announce anything from 5 until we have at least 1, if not 2 of the others ship to customers. So I don't think we're going to see it at PowerCon. Maybe, but I don't think so. But I think by the end of the year we will. Because,
I still have 1 to pre-order. I was on the fence. Take a guess. Who do I still have to pre-order?
What's his name? The lion. The Mumra lion guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I have 2 to pre-order. I forgot about him. Yeah, Puma and Captain Cracker. I'm like, I don't remember this guy at all from the cartoon.
Oh yeah, and he had a toy. He had his own figure. I actually corrected Brian Flynn. We were at Toy Fair last year, and Junior comes up to me and he goes, "Brian's all excited. Captain Cracker, first time in action figure form." And I just looked at Junior dead in the face, and he had no idea. Just looked at him dead in the face, and I go, "No, he had a toy. I had it. He had a peg leg. He didn't have his bird. This is the first time the bird's been made." But and then he calls over Brian. He's like, "Hey, Brian, you said that this was the first time he had a figure." And he's like, yeah, no, we're all excited. And I go, no, he had a figure in the 80s. I'm like, you're thinking about somebody else. Like Mandora didn't have a figure and Willa didn't have a figure. And we never got a Thundercat Groon. We got the regular Groon. We got Safari Joe, but we didn't get his, he didn't get his assistant, and we never got the Lunatax. Like, those are the ones you need to do. And he was just like, okay, sorry, I got that one wrong. So, but yeah, I'm psyched. I think I will be super psyched when the Thunder Tank comes. Like,
yeah,
I think I think that's
gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a troop builder? No, there really isn't. There's no like troop builder, right?
So yeah, there are. The mutants are troop builders because they had like generic reptile, generic jackal, generic monkeys. Yeah. And then the brute men would be army builders. The burbles would be army builders, and the Amazon would be army builders if they did them. But I can't see them. I could see them doing Willa, but I can't see them doing any Amazon's army builders. The burbles would be fun if they actually did them as army builders. I don't think they're going to do brute men. It would be great, but I don't think they will. I think the mutants are the only ones that really could, generic, lizard, reptile. So,
you think the mutants ever get a vehicle? I mean, they had like a flying vehicle as a kid.
So they had the diver and the sky cutter. I think both of them are possibilities because they're small enough. And they hinted that there is going to be a smaller vehicle with somebody. Everybody thinks it's going to be Mandora and her hover bike, because that's kind of a figure they've never made before and a vehicle that's never been done before. As much as I don't want to pay for it, I want a feliner. Like, because they tooled it up, or they prototyped it for the 80s line, where it would fit like 4 of them, which is what was in the cartoon. It was like one of the most accurate things I've ever seen in my life. I would love a feliner. And of course I'd love a cat slayer, but like that's at least $1,000, but I would gladly pay for it. Yeah.
That geez, where did I put this stuff?
Yeah, buy another house. Do you see that floor plan, that joke floor plan? Like, it's got like a house. It's an outline of a house, right? And it's got like a floor plan, and it's like bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, like this small, like just like a little line at the top, and the whole rest of the area is just like toy collection room. That's all you need. Mattress on the floor and a bathroom and a hot plate.
There you go.
Everything else is. Well, thank you. I would love to keep talking. I got to go finish doing.
Yeah, no, this is great. Like I messaged you. I was listening to the last, one of the last episodes, and you were in Long Island, and I'm like putting away dishes, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I was in that room right now. Like,
we had a good time.
So much stuff I wanted to pipe in on. So I love being on. So anytime, and then of course, come over anytime, and we'll burn some wood and we'll drink some beers.
We will do one of these in person soon. Like, because I haven't said this on the podcast yet, but like, it's not that I don't like getting guests. Like, like I like getting, industry people. I like talking to people and stuff like that and getting different perspectives and stuff. But like, I've been doing that for like 2 years now, of like consistently every week getting somebody new. And it's like, I'm kind of burnt out on it. And I kind of just like these kind of conversations. So they'll probably like do more. I got questions about the kids too. Like, I'm curious about being a dad and stuff, but we'll do it on another podcast. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course.
Cool. This podcast was brought to you by Jackson Studios. Jax!